Hey guys, and welcome back to MotoringBox. In today's episode we are back with the BA Falcon and we're going to be having a go at replacing the fuel pump. Stick around. Alright, so the main reason I'm changing this pump today is because I simply don't know what fuel pump is in this car. I bought this car second-hand, it was 16 years old, and even though I know it's been serviced yearly, can see those records, I don't really know what parts have been replaced here or there. And the second reason is this car actually starts to misfire or sort of lose power at high RPMs at wide open throttle. And there's probably two reasons for that. The first one could be the fuel pump is running out of flow, or the second one could be the engine needs new upgraded valve springs. So I don't really know what the cause of that is exactly at the moment. I have a feeling it is the valve springs, but for say 200 to 250 bucks, I think it makes a lot of sense to replace the fuel pump while we're here. We could pull this one out and inspect it, but that's really half of the job done, and you may as well just drop in a new one while you're there. So yeah, I think this pump is going to be a fairly good match for this car. I'm not ever going to be chasing massive power. Sure, I will probably get it tuned at some point, but this pump I think has enough overhead to well and truly cater to what I'm going to need in the future. So let's have a go at pulling the old pump out and dropping this one in. All right, so firstly, I'm going to have a go at removing this cover. There we go. And there's our pump. I can't really identify, I don't really know what I'm looking for, but I can't see any markings, or what does that say? Delphi. Is that the stock Ford pump? I don't really know what brand these things come with as standard. That little retainer bit comes out, and we should just be able to push down that, pull the connector off. All right, now with the fuel hoses, you can actually get these little fuel hose removal tools, and I believe you just clip them on. Okay, you can see there's these little areas that you're meant to push in with your thumbs, and I guess this tool just basically pushes them in on your behalf. Let's try this one. Hey, there we go. Cool. There's a bit of fuel coming off that one. Gee, that one's really stubborn. Gee, that last one was super stubborn. There's obviously a bit of petrol still in the line. So let's try and pull him off, shall we? Right, there wasn't much petrol at all. That's good. So let's try and tidy up the top a little bit here as best we can with all the stuff in the way. Now we've got some screws to undo. I tell you what guys, if any of you know what pumps these came with from factory, was it a Delphi pump? Let me know in the comments below, because I got no idea. There's a bit of blue paint here which kind of went across that screw head, and then you probably can't see, but there's a little bit of green paint down here on this side that went across another screw head. So yeah, I'm not really sure. There's a yellow barcode here on the top as well. I thought Delphi made aftermarket parts. I've seen they make coil packs as well for these Falcons, so perhaps this is an aftermarket pump. Once I've got everything swapped out, I'll have an inspection of it and see if I can work out what sort of flow rate it had, if possible. That'd be interesting. Because yeah, I know this car has been tuned at some point in its life, but I don't really know what factory parts were upgraded, if any at all. Now I'm going to try and make this fuel pump change as quick as possible, just because I don't want the tank to be open, but also want to try and minimize the amount of fumes that come out and minimize the risk. So what we need to do is get these little hoses out of the way, pull out the pump. There'll be a little blue wire with a connector on it, which we'll need to take off, and then quickly get rid of the old pump, put the new pump in place, connect the connector, and then drop the pump down into the tank, and then reconnect the hoses and also the main connector as well. So here goes nothing. All right, so there's our, and I want to tip this pump up too far, but there is a little connector there that you need a flat bladed screwdriver to dislodge. There we go. And then, keeping that upright, get that out of the car. So on this new pump we can see there's a little connection spot here for that. And then we can drop this back down into the tank. There we go. I didn't really pay attention to this pump, but it felt like the bottom was spring loaded. So it must kind of collapse. I need to put the... So it must kind of collapse as you push it into the tank to make sure it's hitting the very bottom, which should make sense. So with that in place, we should be able to refit this ring. There we go. For my OCD's sake, I'll spin this ring around to where it was and put the blue screw back to where it was. All right, so reinstalling these hoses is really just the opposite of before. You should just be able to put now this thing had a retainer, there it is. So for this clip here, you should just be able to clip that back on, and then you sort of feed this little retainer piece underneath the clip. It just stops it from unclipping itself. What I might do is I might just leave that as it is, and we'll try and test fire the car to make sure it runs. That sure sounds like a win to me, so I'm going to clean the surrounding area, refit the cover, and we can now take the car out for a test drive to ensure the pump is working correctly, and hopefully it's fixed our misfire problem as well. Righty guys, so we are out in the middle of nowhere testing out this fuel pump on the Falcon XR6 Turbo. So far so good. I've just been driving it pretty gently, getting it up to temp, and so far so good. You know, it's been pretty smooth, but we'll give it a bit of throttle. I'll ease it up into second first and we'll see how it likes that or dislikes it. Alright, that is a really good sign. What I might do is we'll do another pull. We'll come back and we'll do another pull, and I'll see if I can get a lock on how much boost we're getting according to that boost gauge. It is a little bit hard to see it in the daytime, but let's give it a shot and yeah, see what it reads. Bit by bit, you know, I'm getting this engine running the way it should be. It's been rather satisfying, I must admit, to not have to rely on a mechanic to try and fix up the way this car's running, apart from getting the clutch replaced. But yeah, that's a really cool thing. So let's give this a bit of a shot. Alright, so that was hitting about 14 to 15 psi. Had a lot of wheel spin in first. Alright, so that's it guys. Looks like we've fixed it. I reckon this engine is probably running as good as it can on the Redcliffe Dyno piggyback ECU. I reckon if I ever wanted to get anything more out of this car, I'd probably have to get a PCM Tech edit done on it, just because I think they always get better results over sort of a piggyback ECU solution like I've got here. So thank you very much guys, take it easy. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this video. Throw me a like as well. You wouldn't believe how much that helps, and